Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. Now, excuse me, for the benefit of those of you who are not familiar with this channel or are watching this channel for the first time, the reason why it is called Uncommon Sense because here on this platform, we discuss everyday issues where we try to seek logical solutions, but not everyone uses logic. So, for that reason, it is called uncommon sense. First of all, I like to give a huge shout out to all those that have already subscribed to my platforms. Yes, you heard me correctly, platforms. I have two new channels, which I will be discussing briefly during the stream. So I want to give a huge shout out to all those who already subscribed. I also want to give a huge shout out to all those who follow me on social media. And I also want to give a huge shout out to all those who allow me to enter in your devices, whether it be live or whether it be on the playback. So if you have not done so, I'm going to ask that you do the following, which is subscribe, like, and hit the bell notification to all. So therefore, whenever I do produce content, you will have the opportunity to either watch it live or watch it on the playback. I do need to let everybody know that the subscriber mode has been enabled, meaning that if you are not a subscriber, if you wish to enter a comment in the chat, you'll need to subscribe to the channel. I just put now before we forget, I just want to wish everyone a very happy and a blessed Dr. Martin Luther King Day. Of course, we are celebrating the life of Dr. Martin Luther King, who was a huge civil rights leader who believed in nonviolence and devoted his life to bring equal rights to all, not just the African American community, but all communities as well. So a huge shout out um, to Dr. Martin Luther King and his memory. Even though he's been gone for, he still lives in the hearts of millions of him who admire his work and admire all that he done, all his sacrifices to bring equality to all of us, regardless of skin, ethnicity, or sexual orientation, or any other differences. So a huge shout out to him. Um, I've been announcing lately that I have a new platform called Golden Spear Folk. And the reason for the channel is that I am developing a new channel to deal with issues as it pertains to biracial and multiracial people. And I wanted to develop a separate channel just to discuss those issues. During the length of the stream, I will be dropping the link for those who wish to subscribe to the channel because unfortunately it's a new channel. It takes a while before it gets noticed. So I would appreciate it if you would check out my content. Okay. And I really do appreciate all love and support I have because now on this platform I have 202 subs. So it's a huge shout out to all the love and all the people who have supported this channel. Okay. That being said, we're going to get on to the main topic. Okay, the topic for tonight is, do we have a gender war? Now, the reason why I decided to discuss this topic tonight because there's been a considerable what is this gentle war is about. So the whole point of this platform is to discuss issues, and instead of talking theory, try to bring some truth into the equation. So what I'm going to do is just give me a moment. I'm going to drop the link for anyone who wishes to join the panel. Okay. And I'm also, just give me a moment, going to drop the link to all those who wish to subscribe to the new channel. The name of the channel is Golden Spear Folk. Okay. It's a new channel. And again, the whole purpose is to discuss those issues as it pertaining to biracial and multiracial people. And of course, we all know that there are many subgroups as it pertains to these people. Okay. So, which I will be discussing on my stream on Saturday. I do plan to do that like once a week or once every 2 weeks. And again, before people cast any judgments, I would appreciate if you check content of the new material. That's all I'm going to say. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm trying to share my screen. Just give me a moment. Just please bear with me because, okay. Okay, here it is. So this is an article that I picked up. It's funny, but it's a good article so we can have an understanding in regards to the topic. Okay. The topic is, name it out, is there a gender war happening today? The rise of the movements such as feminism and men's rights movements both raise valid points regarding gender-specific issues. Okay. Now, let me just explain the term gender war comes from. The term gender war is often a buzzword within American culture that incites a wave of differing opinions. Is there a war of women or there's a war of men? Has the rise of the men's rights movement come up to counteract feminism? Likewise, has these two movements caused a gender divide? Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to discuss the rise of feminism. The first wave of feminism occurred in the 19th and early 20th centuries, which was largely held by the women's suffragettes. Suffragettes. It challenged the gender inequalities that were present in the legal system which fueled by women's participation during the world wars. The main laws that the suffrage called to be reformed were ownership of wages, property, and money which would have been given to their husbands, better access to education and careers, the right to vote. The first wave was eventually successful with achieving universal suffrage when the 19th Amendment was passed in the US Congress in 1920. The second wave of feminism in the 1960s to 1980s widened the movement to include cultural minorities, gender based discrimination, and sexism within a patriarchal society. They focus on challenging issues regarding reproductive and abortion rights, domestic violence and rape culture, objectification of women's bodies in media, child custody and divorce law, gender pay gap in the workplace. Just to give you a preview, um, on Thursday stream, I'm going to be discussing whether or not exists a pay gap within the sexes. So I'm going to be discussing that. And of course, some people are not going to like the material for multiple reasons. And to those people, all I'm going to say is the following: you don't have to consume my content if you do not wish to. Okay. The second wave was successful in increasing women's economic benefits in the workplace. The Equal Pay Act, signed by Kennedy in 1963, which prohibited wage discrimination based on gender, further propelled the feminist movement to call for further reforms. Now we're going to be talking about third wave and fourth wave feminism. The third wave and fourth wave of feminism occurred in the late 1990s and has continued into the 21st century. While the third wave seemed to continue advocating for the rights of the second wave proposed, the fourth wave of feminism has been heavily critiqued. The fourth wave of feminism has focused on the empowerment of women, such as the Me Too movement. However, with each wave of feminism, the moment definition has been ill-defined and difficult to differentiate. This has influenced the support of a movement as seen CBS nationwide random sample of 1,150 US adults. That they found that given equal rights definition, 58% of the men and 65% of women were more likely to identify as feminists. However, there was a lack of definition. Only 14% of men and 24% of the women identify as feminists. Now we're going to be discussing um, radical feminists. And this is where there's been some controversy. Radical feminists seek to subvert the patriarchy, a system in which they believe oppresses women and privileges men. However, there has been some increasing scrutiny that radical feminism is a strong anti-male rhetoric. The idea that radical feminism pushes that men are perpetrators of women and women are victims is quite inaccurate. According to the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence, on the average in the US, 1 in 4 women and 1 in 9 men experience severe physical sexual violence or stalking that culminate in injury, PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress disorder, or sexual diseases. Considering this, could this be the rise of men's rights movement due to this radical feminist ideology? And I see here we got a couple of people in the chat. Just give me a moment because Okay, we have Gigi. Good evening, Gigi. It's nice to see you today. I hope that you're doing well. Um, and we also have Magic. Good evening. Thank you very much for stopping by. And we have someone called um, Defrauding Charlatans. Okay, well, good evening. Okay, I don't know whether you're male or female. Okay, so that's good to hear. First of all, thank you very much for um, appearing in the chat. And also, I see here, okay, and we have another comment, which is hand purple people peace. Okay, and I see here we also have a guest. Okay. Hopefully this person is not a troll. But before, okay. And we have another comment, which is okay. Love bouncing around and hearing perspective. Okay. I just didn't want to improperly address you. Okay. So what I'm going to do is just take care of this. Okay. So what I'm going to do is before I bring in my guest, I want to let everyone know that the views of those who appear on the panel are not necessarily those of the host nor the channel. Any attempt to copy the material without the consent of the host or the channel is prohibited. By appearing on the call, you waive see the content, you can block the channel. Okay. So now I'm going to bring in my guest.
Hi, Jose. How are you?
Good evening.
I'm on my
How you doing
other.
tonight?
I'm fine. I'm on my other channel. That's why this looks different. It's my other. I'm on my other channel, so um, that's why it's a different avatar and different thing.
Okay,
So
no problem.
I'm on. So I'm on my other channel. So
It's okay. It's
um,
just that I'm trying to be more
no, I
mindful.
understand
Of course,
that.
we have
I understand.
some members from
I
the
don't.
Peanut Gallery.
Sure. I get it. Well, you were on my live earlier today, right? So you're well aware of what some people can do, trolls and others, right?
Okay. Do you have an issue with the fraud and Charlotte?
Yeah, I was okay. I didn't know that this guy was going to be here because I haven't seen him here. Um, I didn't expect this to happen, but it's interesting. He's a guy I banned from my channel, and
Okay.
uh, this guy has harassed my channel a few times. So yeah,
Okay.
certainly no fan of his. So I don't care that he's in the chat. I really don't care. But yeah, yeah,
Okay.
he's on my channel, and um, he's harassed it a couple times. He's come back even though he's banned. He's tried to come
Okay.
back even though he's banned.
Okay. Um, the fraud and charlatans. I want to make this understood that here, this is a safe space for everyone to express their view. but I do insist that there's mutual respect given. Now, if you have an issue with Al and if you don't wish to address it, speak with Al, you can speak with me. That's not going to be a problem. I just want to make sure that I want to keep it drama free. Okay, so as long
Right.
as we keep it drama free, you're more than welcome to appear in the chat.
Right. I think so long as he's in the chat, I don't
Okay,
I don't
okay.
care. Yeah. So I'm here. That's why I'm here on the yeah, I don't try to do chats that much because you never know who's gonna show up. Anyway, sorry. Um anyway, yeah, it's interesting. I thought it was an interesting topic today. I'm sorry, did you finish reading the article?
No, I didn't. It's just that you know, you know what, Magic. I'm not here to referee. All I ask is let's be civil. That's
Yeah,
I'm
the
just
only
getting to the
reason I mentioned that is because I think it's due diligence in case something happens. I think it's the fairest thing to do. Like I said, my feeling is he could say whatever he wants in that chat, as long as he's not saying anything that's untrue. I don't care. I don't relevant to
okay.
me. Yeah.
Well, in any case, defrauding, like I said before, this is the first time here. You're welcome to be here. Okay, I'm not trying to guess any aspersion on anybody. So, okay. So let me just continue
Yeah. Sorry. Go
with
ahead.
the article, which is the rise of the men's rights movement. The men's rights movement came from the men's liberation movement in the 1970s. This movement opposes feminist ideologies and focuses on areas within the institution that men are oppressed or discriminated against, such as the court system. Over time, this has generated multiple subgroups within the manosphere, such as the MGTOW, men going their own way, incels, and the red pill subreddit. Some of the issues where men rights activists believe women are more privileged in relate to child custody, divorce law, education, incarceration, homelessness, suicide. This has caused some men to go in groups such as MGTOW to avoid romantic and sexual relationship with women due to the financial and legal risk that men face. They choose to disengage from areas in society such as the court system, which they deem hostile to the male gender. However, their disengagement with the opposite sex is making relationships and marriages more difficult. Okay. As the two movement caused division between men and women, it seems that issues that both feminism and the men's rights movement bring up are valid points and should be addressed. Issues of sexual assault and violence, as well as child custody, influence both genders, but to various degrees within more successful to gender violence of men and having a disadvantage in the family court. These issues need to be addressed by both genders in a cooperative manner as opposed as a rigid stance in ideology. The feminist movement and the men's rights movement can be viewed as polarizing opposites, but while that doesn't necessarily constitute a gender war, it does cause misunderstanding and resentment in both parties. The more radical and both movements seem to display a blatant bitterness towards the opposite gender. The reason for that may vary from person to person and at different levels. Yeah, marriage rates have been falling, and these two gender movements have caused the breakup of marriages and relationships. Likewise, it is a difficult to infer that the feminist movement and the men's rights movement have been the major causes of the decrease in relationship, but rather a contributing factor. There are many other factors that influence a relationship, marriage, and divorce. It can be deemed that a number of radical feminists and men in the men's rights movement, such as NGTOW, have chosen not to associate with the opposite gender. Um, Although this would not cause a gender war, it creates uncertainty and distrust towards the opposite sex, with some questioning if relationships and marriages are even worth it in the first place. And these are some things that we should consider to deal with the issue. Number one, do not blame the other gender. Blaming the other genders with issues, relationships, and marriages will cause a stalemate of as which they will make other parties more defensive. This will hinder the progression of more discussion about gender equality. Number two, see the other party's perspective. Try to understand the other gender points will allow us to empathize with their issues. While some issues are more prominent for either females and males, gaining a different opinion about gender issues can be the catalyst in promoting change. Number three, create authentic connections. Creating a safe space where both genders can openly and honestly communicate their points will allow more authentic connections. Actively listening to the other party's side will break down preconceived assumptions about the other and foster mutual awareness and gender issues, ultimately creating respect for each party, which will enable both genders to cooperate together to challenge gender norms and issues. And we're going to stop it right here. Al, your thoughts on the article?
It kind of lays out the I guess some of the aspects of I don't know what the term, I guess it's gender war. Is that what the title, the headline noted, gender war or something like that? But I've certainly heard of those
Yes.
movement, like some aspects, like the pills, red, blue, purple, I don't know, whatever, pills and MGTOW and so forth. So I've said this before. I said this on a panel before. There's what I call the battle of the sexes, right? And when I say that, it's the idea that men are irritated with some things with women, and um, women are irritated with some things with men. That's natural. It's just we're very different species, and our species is the term, but different types of people, and so it's natural that it happens. And I've also said this. What I've noticed is there are men who are attracted to women, right? Heterosexual, right? Or hetero.
Mm-hmm.
They're attracted to women, but they don't like women much. Just like there are women that are attracted to men, hetero, but they don't like men much. And that's what you have to kind of understand, I think, at the root and about foundation. I think when it gets serious is when that moves up. So you go from the battle of the sexes to full-fledged war, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's, I mean, my view, I have an easier view of things because I'm a single, I'm a bachelor, I'm a single guy, and so for me, I like being single. I enjoy it. So I don't have the issues. Like for me, it's not about this war thing, right? I don't have because with some of these guys that you see online, I guess the manosphere, and I
Mm-hmm.
don't know what the other spheres are, but all that. I personally don't get it. Like I don't get it myself because I grew up in the 70s and 80s, and it's one thing to complain about, the opposite gender, or if you're a guy, women, complain about women to your friends and all that. But the idea, I guess, the whole YouTube thing is sitting around like, you know, kind of whining. I don't want to say whining, but just like being infuriated about women and just complaining and just screaming and yelling about women. I'm sorry, I don't get it. I mean, when I say I don't get it, I mean I don't view that as a productive means of time. I understand you want to get some energy off, like you want to get stuff off your chest. That makes sense. But for me, all this is a world that I don't get. I don't get the kind of. But then again, for a number of these guys, so it has a lot to do with their lives and what they've experienced and what they've gone through. So their experiences are different from my experiences. I guess I don't have the problems with women that these guys do. And so I don't understand their point of view. Now, where it doesn't get valid is where they just remain embittered and, translate that, I guess, into rhetoric that ends up being destructive as opposed to productive. Right. But, again, you have to look at, I don't understand their experiences. So I'm kind of on the outside. I'm an outsider to it. Like I don't know those spaces and I don't know those aspects. So I'm like I like the ladies just fine.
Yeah.
And
I just excuse me. I just
that
wanna,
way. Like I've never. Go ahead. Sorry.
I just want to acknowledge the fact that Irby, the future is golden, and Keyshawn are all in the chat. Good evening, all of you. Thank you very much for stopping by and listening to us discuss the topic. Now, what I'm just trying to do is I'm just trying to bring the facts, okay? And I'm trying to do it in a way that's gender neutral. Okay, we're not here to blame either sexes. What we're here to do is we discuss the issue that does exist within the sexes and see where we can come up with some sort of a resolution. The key is we need to understand that both genders have valid points which need to be addressed. And if we can accept that point, we can arrive at solutions that are mutually beneficial to both sexes. Your point of view.
Yeah, Irby makes a point here. Irby, I think, makes a good point. Personal life. That's the impression that I get with all of these guys. Like, I haven't really spoken to a lot, or I think hardly any of them, because I'm not there. I'm not in those spaces. So I don't. All I know is what I hear about those spaces. So I don't want to mischaracterize entirely those spaces. Again, I've said this before on panels. I'll say it now. To me, it's common sense. Is what I grew up with. There are guys who are going to get, they're going to get all the attention from the ladies, right? Good-looking guys and handsome guys. Yeah. The guys who got the charm and the personality and all of that. There are guys who are going to get, the attention from the ladies, and there are guys who don't have the looks, don't have the personality, plain, unattractive, or really unattractive or ugly. I know that it's a politically incorrect word, but I feel I should say it. And in the game of love, there are winners and losers. Not everyone gets to win.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but that's what I found
I also
when I
want
was
to
growing up.
I also want to acknowledge the fact that J4 is in the chat. Good evening, sir. Thank you very much. And I really appreciate all the interaction that's going on in the chat. I really appreciate all your support. And of course, anyone is welcome to express their point of view. If you disagree with anything that's said, you're more than welcome to express it. Just let's keep it respectful.
Mhm. Yeah, like, um, well, can I ask you a question if you don't mind?
Sure, go ahead.
Um, I don't know quite how to approach it. I'll just come out with it. How would you characterize your dealings with the ladies? Your relationships? I don't want to get into your personal life, but I mean, how would you characterize it since you're the one who has this as a topic on your channel? I'm just curious.
Okay, I have had good relations with members of the opposite sex and bad relations with members of the opposite sex. It does not mean
Hmm.
that all women are bad. It just simply means that there's good and bad in every group. Something that I've been saying for the longest, which I know what some people are getting sick and tired of me saying it, but that is the truth. Okay. Now I'll give you a proper example. I have um some bad experiences with some Dominican women. That doesn't I'm gonna hold all Dominican women are bad. It's just that I had some bad experiences. And not because that they were
Hmm.
Dominican women, it's just they had certain character flaws. There is good and bad in everybody, and that's something that people need to understand. And we need to value the differences between our um, sexes.
Hmm. I think that's I think that's a modest and fair way to look at that. Um, and you know, for me, the that's why I distinguish. That's why I felt it was essential at the beginning to talk about battle of the sexes because that's something that's natural between men and women. We're different, right? And there are things about the opposite that irritate us, right? It's just natural. I mean, for some people, it's not a big a deal, but for others, it is. But it seems to me the whole gender war thing is very, I don't want to say it doesn't exist because it clearly exists, but I think it is some kind of outgrowth of this, right? And
Mhm.
I mean, for me, I'm looking at it from an interesting perspective because
Mhm.
I don't normally talk about stuff like this all the time. I have at times. I have a few times, but I don't normally do. I talk about other subjects, obviously. Um, so for me, it's a little simple, right? Like I don't have the issues with the ladies. There are guys who have issues with ladies.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't want to say incels, but yeah, incels. Again, I go back to the game of love is not fair. There are men who are going to do well and men who aren't. There are women who are going to do well and women who aren't. And
Mhm.
I think what's occurred in the society is there is kind of a space now. There are platforms for men who don't do well, and they get called certain names on certain labels, right? And so they get to go on these platforms digitally
Yes.
and vent their frustration and vent their anger and vent their fury. And that's that's the thing that makes things complicated because on the one hand, they're entitled to say whatever they want. On the other hand, though, it can create situations that can lead to actual problems outside of the internet and outside of YouTube.
Mhm.
And so people have these talking points and they have these mindsets, they have these frameworks. And for me, I mean, again, I think Irby, who was in the chat, talked about personal life. I think this has a lot to do with, how not only people relate to women, but also their personal. how their relationship or lack of relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that.
Um,
Like with what it is, I don't have issues with women. Women don't have issues with me. For the most part,
yeah.
you could have disagreements with women over numerous things, but I don't. I recognize when it comes to the guys who are, whether it's incels or I don't know, MGTOW or other. Not MGTOW is different because they want to be single, and so those guys are perfectly fine by me. But in the sense that they just want to be single and they want to be bachelors, and I'm single, I'm a bachelor, so I'm fine with that. So
Mhm.
so long as nothing bad comes out of that, you know what I mean. So long as they straighten up and fly right, I'm fine with it. But you talk about these guys. See, that's why I'm not a proponent for promotion of relationships and marriage and all this, because I don't think people should be trying to get married and try to get in relationships and pushing that. I just see too much of that on YouTube. Oh, a woman needs to get married before she's 30 and have a family because she'll hit the wall or something. What wall? If you're talking about biology and the what is that? Biological clock, okay, but you have to understand the times we live in, and you have to understand the country we live in, or countries, and the economy. The economy requires that men and women be what I call uh, sort of self-perpetuating economic units. That's just a
Mhm.
overdone word for, you have to be self-sustainable economically. Women can't just go, okay, I'll marry somebody and all my troubles will be over. That's not how it works. Women have to be able to
Yeah.
get educated, and they have to be able to have careers and take care of themselves. Same with men,
Mhm.
right? And so
Yeah.
it's just a very different world. And the way I see it is that often I hear people who how do I put this? They want to ride in stagecoaches in the
Mhm.
21st century. You know what I mean by that?
Okay. Okay. We have someone else, but I think I understand your point of view. Let's
Right.
see. Good evening, Gigi.
Hey, Jose. Hey, Al. How y'all doing?
Okay. I'm doing fine. If you don't mind me
Hi,
asking,
how are
how's your
you,
child?
Gigi? How are you doing?
Hey, Al. What's up, Jose? What'd you say? I'm sorry.
I say, how's your child? Is your child feeling better? I hope you don't mind me asking me the question.
Yes, he is feeling a lot better. Thank you. He had to get breathing treatments and stuff, but he's doing a lot better. Thank you for asking.
Okay, because I know it's a delicate topic. That's why I phrased the question the way I did.
That's fine. I
But
appreciate
I'm,
it.
yeah. So, what's your thoughts regarding the topic?
Is this like pertaining to social media or like real life?
This is like, I'm talking about in terms in real life in general. Social media, that's a different thing altogether.
In real life, I don't really see men and women hating each other or fighting or in a gender war. No, I don't see that in real life. I mean, but I do recognize that some of the craziness does spill over into real life. There was like some incels that went wild and killed some people, so it does spill over. But for the most part, I don't really think that there's a gender war in the United States.
Um, this is my perspective. Okay, what I think it is that we need to have a more of an understanding in regards to women's issues, and as far as why some women think the way they do. Women in turn need to understand what are some of our issues, okay? Because when you think about it, both men and women have legitimate concerns.
Yes, thank you,
The
Future.
issue is that sometimes we're so rigid in our thoughts. original thoughts that we cannot see the other person's point of view.
But there's also these people that are on, a lot of these people, they have families themselves and they're just doing this for money.
That is true. That is true. Now, what I've been doing is I've been dropping the link to my other channel because, of course, it's a new channel. It's going to take a while for it to get popping, but it's just that I wanted to discuss issues pertaining to biracial people, but I think one of the key problems is the lack of understanding. Okay, once we can understand each other, we can discuss our issues where we disagree in respectful dialogue. We can come to some consent regarding solutions.
Absolutely. When you're, talking to reasonable people, for sure.
Yeah. The reason why I didn't want to focus so much on social media, because let's keep it real. We have a lot of people that belong to the peanut gallery and their thinking is so 2022. Now, for the benefit of those of you who are not familiar with that terminology, 2022, I'm referring to thinking that's from the past, that's old, that's inflexible. So you're going to be hearing me talking about it's so 2022. And when it comes to the peanut gallery, we're talking about those individuals who are not able to think intelligently and can be so sensitive if they get a different point of view.
Yeah, I mean, it might be a waste of time to deal with people like that,
Yeah, I agree. That's why, believe me. Look, I just have two goals for this year. Trying to avoid the unnecessary stress. That means trying to deal with those that go to create a lot of stress and be the best version of myself.
Exactly. I think we're all like rejuvenated and inspired to, accomplish a lot this year.
Yeah. Al, do you wish to express any further comments?
Well, I hate to bring this up, but I think that the surprising things about coming to the biracial spaces is some of this gender war rhetoric that I've heard. And that was the biggest surprise to me because I didn't expect oh boy. Ugh, disgusting.
You said in the biracial sector? That's what you said, Al?
Yeah, well, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't. Biracial spaces. Yeah, that's what I call them. And I didn't expect some of what I've seen here. It's like I just didn't. I don't know why, but I just didn't. I guess I'm so used to being on biracial groups on social media, and we don't have that issue or those issues. We don't have those gender war, gender clashes for the most part. And what? It's just I don't know.
I'm not sure that we really do, though. There's just a couple of people from both sides, but for the most part, we all work together well,
Yeah, that's why it's surprising to me. Like,
Yeah.
I've said this before, I'll say it again. The women in the biracial spaces have been nothing but accommodating and welcoming to me. And I've had no problems. Now, I don't know how it's been for other people, but so that's why it's a surprise to me. Like, I don't get why there's so much of this gender war, like gender stuff. Like, I don't, oh, I mean, I could understand if this were a place where there's a lot of disagreements over it. If this whole disagreement over men's roles or women's roles or anything like that was endemic here or kind of rooted here, I could understand that. But I've never seen that. It's only with, as you mentioned, some individuals, and it's like almost like they're importing it from somewhere else and shipping it over here and trying to get it to be loaded and dispersed on the dock, if you know what I mean, or from the docks, if you know what I mean. So, it just,
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have a bunch
to
of
me, I
men on
mean,
my channel.
not
I have a lot of
expected
men
it.
that support me. I support a lot of men, I
I
don't
don't
judge
get
people
it.
by their genders.
Yeah, it's weird to me. It's just this whole thing is weird in this space. Like when you get into biracial spaces, I don't know. I mean, I only thing I have to base it on is my social media groups on social media. Like I didn't care about biracial females or what, I was interested in their issues as biracial women, but I didn't care about the whole gender side of it unless it was germane to the racial and ethnic issues that impact them. Otherwise, I don't care. And it's like, so why is this manosphere or pill, red, blue, green pill, whatever it's called, stuff here? I'm like, I don't know. I just didn't get it. And I just thought this isn't the right place for it. That's just been my assessment. I don't see the soil on which that can grow here.
It's not because this is a small sector for all of this. You know what I'm saying? We're not in a position to be going to war really with each other when we have such a small
Right.
sector.
Right.
We're supposed to be
Absolutely.
building. Yeah.
That's the way it's been in groups. I've been in mixed race groups, and yeah, you have disagreements and stuff, but it's not along those lines. It's never been like, I know YouTube can be a weird place. Let's be honest. I've been in other spaces. I've been in a couple other spaces. I know YouTube can get weird, and there's a lot of weird stuff that happens on YouTube. So I guess I chalk it up to that, and also the mentalities of individuals. Again, yeah, you have to look at their. I don't know what their lives are like or what things have been like with them. Like I said, I can only speak as a single guy bachelor. I've never had problems with the ladies. I just don't. Um, Primarily, I think because I have no expectations. I don't have any expectations. And I see this with a lot of guys or a number of guys, like they want to be in relationships so bad, but, and I see this mostly online, actually. I did, maybe not so much outside of YouTube. They want to be in relationships so bad, or they feel they need to be in relationships. They need to be with someone, but someone doesn't need to be with them or doesn't want to be with them. And I don't know what to say other than, she's just not into you, or the lady's just not into you. And it's I'm telling you, it's not fair. I understand life isn't fair. The game of love is not fair, but there are guys who win and guys who lose. And when I was growing up, you didn't have YouTube, you didn't have Facebook and Twitter and all this stuff. So I don't know what guys did. I don't know what other guys did. I don't know how they reacted. I don't know how they did it, but now they just go on these forums and these channels and just start screaming and yelling, I guess. I don't know.
They probably went out and interacted in the real world and probably had more luck than trying to do it online. It's hard to build connection with people online,
Yeah, I don't understand.
Yeah.
I've never
Excuse
dealt
me.
with
I
anyone
think,
romantically. Sorry.
okay. Part of the problem is that some individuals treat these platforms like it was Tinder or Bumble. Okay. And let's keep.
Jose knows the sites.
And let's keep it 1,000. Let's keep it 1,000. You have certain individuals. They're interested in someone in the opposite sex. They're attracted, but yet they don't have the social skills that they need to properly approach someone like a golden goddess. Okay. Now, I don't claim to be Mr. Hanson 1000%. Okay, what have you. But let's just say I was to approach a golden goddess. At least I have the social skills and whatnot because, to approach myself with her in a proper way, like introduce myself, uh, try to get to know golden goddess, and see if there's what interests her, and then if there's something that's possible that we can have a healthy relationship. Unfortunately, what we have is in these YouTube streets is are infected with people who do not have the social skills needed to approach someone from the opposite sex, and therefore when they get rejected they get upset, and then they lash out and they do reaction streams and what have you, calling people of the opposite sex anything but a child of God.
That's a nice summation of it. I think you boiled it. I think you boiled down kind of the frustrations of some of these parties online, social media, YouTube, in a couple sentences or 3 sentences. I think you did a nice job doing that. I just thought of a new idea for people who aren't very good at dating. You have, instead of Tinder, you have Tender. And instead of Bumble, you have Stumble. So Tender and Stumble.
Do you think because they are preaching this red pill content and they're telling men, hey, you just treat women like crap and they're going to like you, and then the men, they're going around taking this advice and they're still getting rejected and they're getting more and more angry?
I've never understood that. Again,
I'm not attracted to somebody who's rude
I'm a guy
to
in his
me.
50s.
I'm not attracted to somebody
I don't
who's
get
rude
that.
to me.
Like, I think it's the idea of if you don't act like you're really into her, that's it. I'm like, yeah, maybe. I don't know. I grew up in the 70s and 80s, and I cite that because I guess age. But I kind of grew up with you treat a lady, I'm gonna sound so old fashioned, and I'm not, but there was a little of that opening doors and letting the seat out and so she could sit down. There was a little of that when I was growing up, at least that I was
being a gentleman.
My understanding was that you just have to be a nice human, like you relate to them on a friendly level. That's the way that I view it. It's like, I don't get treating someone badly as a way to romance. I don't get that. Like, you're married, right, Gigi?
Yes. Hey, Jose. I'm sorry. Hey, Ramon.
Hey, Golden. Hey, Jose. What's up,
Good evening, Ramon.
How are you? Did your husband, I assume he didn't, but did your husband treat you badly when you were dating him?
No, he wasn't. He was courting me. Yeah.
Just treat her like crap and she'll be in love with you. What? I just okay. Like, I understand you may not want to seem too needy or too clingy. That makes sense. But since when is being an a-hole the way to romance? Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm sorry. I don't get it. Call me old-fashioned. I don't like being called that, but I don't get it.
No, but it's not about being an asshole. It's about kind of like more showing that masculine energy that women naturally are going to be more attracted to. And sometimes these days, being an asshole projects that energy and that attracts women. I mean, today, these days, when it comes to when they say that chivalry is dead, it's dead for a reason. I mean, feminists killed it because today, if a man tries to be, a man is wasting time trying to be chivalrous because a lot of the modern women, and specifically talking about the modern women, don't appreciate it. They might actually get offended. Even it happens. I think it was just yesterday. I was reading about a situation in which a guy. It was kind of like a TikTok that I came across, and this girl was talking about her experience that she was at the building where she works, and this man held the door open for her and another woman. The woman in the video said thank you, but the other woman got offended and they said, "I can open my own fucking door," and started talking like that. That's the thing. That's the risk that men today trying to be cordial with a woman has to take. That's the risk of having to deal
But I don't
with.
think chivalry is dead because, wherever I go, men do open the door for me and I say thank you. So I don't think it's dead.
No, yeah, but
Well-
the chivalry in the traditional sense, I mean, it's been kind of beaten away out of a lot of men because there are certain women that are very ungrateful about it, and especially the modern women, the more modern ones that are going around not needing a man, and they can do all bad by themselves. I mean, and this is across demographics. I'm not trying to single out a particular demographic. And yes, Golden. I mean,
Well-
I live in the South, and there are women that are okay with the kind of like the common courtesy. I was raised to have a common courtesy towards other people, just people, not necessarily just women. And fortunately, for the most part, women down here do appreciate it. On occasion, it has happened to me that I have held the door open for a woman and the woman just keeps walking, and I'm like, yeah, you're welcome. It has happened to me, but
You're welcome, bitch, right?
Let me just let me know.
Yeah,
So I know this. I've noted this a few times. Every time I hear the term chivalry, I'm always kind of I always kind of laugh at it. First of all, I don't believe in chivalry. Chivalry is a medieval European concept that applies to knights. Knights had a code of chivalry. Those were, and knights were, of course, basically warriors, men in combat. So chivalry was something that was a medieval code for these armored fighters, these armored warrior knights. Chivalry gets used in reference to how men relate to women. First of all, it's not chivalry per se. It's simply manners, right? It's a matter of manners.
Mhm.
If you're polite, if you are someone who treats women with a basic amount of respect, like you would anyone else to a certain extent, I think that's what's necessary. I don't know that people need to go over the top. They certainly don't need to pretend that they're rescuing women. This isn't Rapunzel in her tower or something like that.
Throwing their jacket over a
It's just
puddle. So
matter
they
of treating people with respect and manners. That's it. I mean, that's what it basically is when it comes to the ladies. If you're a guy, the ladies, it's just respect and manners. That's it. I mean, I don't think that's hard to do. But when I hear this nonsense of, oh, you gotta be a prick to deal with women. You gotta treat them like crap. Nah, sorry, I don't buy that. I mean, hey, if you treat a woman in a dysfunctional way, you get a dysfunctional woman and a dysfunctional relationship.
I was
That's the
gonna
problem.
say that. Yeah, what kind of a woman are you gonna pull like that? Yeah.
Right.
yeah, but
Yeah, precisely.
yeah, unfortunately, there are women that do respond to a man being a jerk. I mean, I know it doesn't make any sense, but it happens. The jerks, the assholes that won't call a woman, won't text her. I mean, a woman, a fine looking woman can have like 300 simps texting her any day, but she'll give up the drawers for the asshole that never calls her. I mean, there are women that function like that. And, try to avoid that.
But that's a matter of attraction. See, one of the things, there are only two aspects I talk about in regards to relationships, and I'm no relationship expert, but this is what I've observed in life. There are two aspects, basic aspects to relationships anyone should understand. Attraction is necessary in order for a relationship to happen. You have to be attracted in some way. And the second is, if a relationship doesn't fit, you have to quit. Don't stay in a relationship that doesn't work. So one of the things I point out in regards to these women that like the jerks and the a-holes and all of this stuff, what I point out is that attraction is part of relationships. The reason they're in relationships with the jerks is because they are attracted to jerks. And this is why when I hear this nonsense about, oh, well, you won't be able to get a nice guy later on in life, and you need to be with a nice guy, and you need to be an average guy, and all this, like, here's the problem. You know, you're making archetypes and stereotypes about guys as if nice guys and good guys don't cheat, as if nice guys and good guys are automatically better than the bad boys and the terrible guys. Yeah, in some respects they are, in other respects they aren't. You know, the reality is guys are guys, right? And the reality is that you're attracted to who you're attracted to as a woman, and same with a man. If women are with the jerks and the tough guys and so forth, it's because they're attracted to them. And if you tell those women you shouldn't be attracted to those guys, you could tell them that. It's not going to happen, right? It's like telling a rose to be a carnation. You could scream at a rose all you want. You could scream at flowers all you want. They're not automatically going to go and turn into something else because you scream at them or you say they shouldn't. A rose is a rose by any other name, as Shakespeare would say. A rose doesn't become a carnation. Mm-hmm. It remains a rose.
I agree with that.
Yeah. Women are
people aren't going to just they're not going to not be attracted to you because it's like, oh, you look good, but then it's like, oh, you're nice, never mind, I'm not attracted to you. No, that would be like the cherry on top, right? If you're nice and attractive.
Oh yeah. And women who are with the nice guys or good guys or average guys are women who are attracted to the average guys, good guys, nice guys. Women who are with the jerks and the tough guys and the bad boys are women who are attracted to the jerks and the tough guys and the bad boys. It's attraction. That's why attraction is difficult. That's why relationships are difficult. Attraction. People talk about the law of attraction. Okay, there's one law of attraction when it comes to relationships, in my view. What kind of person are you attracted to? Whether you like it or not, that is going to determine who you're going to be with. And that's very hard to deal with. It's hard. It's difficult because it's like, that's why women get into these bad relationships, and men do too. But the women go, well, how come I'm with the wrong guy? Because you're attracted to the wrong guy. That wrong guy is right for you, but wrong for you as well. So it's attraction, and that's hard to deal with. You could find a way to try to break your attraction. I don't know if it'll happen though.
Especially for women, because you guys always point out that we're barely attracted to any men, right? Which is true. We're not attracted to bunches of men. It's 1 out of a million, right? It's not going to change whether you're nice or not. He's right about that.
Right. That's what people don't understand here. When I hear this stuff on YouTube, they don't get. It doesn't matter what a guy does. You could take whatever course you want. You can act as confident as you want. If a woman is with you, it's because she's attracted to the kind of person you are and the type of person you are, what your type is, the kind of, not just you, but the kind of and type of person you are. Same with men. They're attracted to certain kinds of women and types of women, right? The difference is we accept that men are going to be attracted to different types of women. But this odd view is, oh, no, you don't. You need to be with the average guy and the good guy, and you need to be with that guy. Oh, don't be with the bad boy. Don't be with the tough guy. Don't be with the guy who's all wrong for you. He'll do this. He may break your heart. He may do stuff. He may be terrible for you. But notice it's not done for men. How come men don't get that advice? Oh man, you're with the wrong woman. Maybe they do, but it's not quite the same. You don't hear a lot of, man, you need to find the good girl or the good woman, right? You need to find the average woman. You need to find this kind of woman.
Did anybody up here say that they were a specialist or some sort of a professional, or are we just having a conversation on a live stream? Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
You're just a professional writer.
Okay.
No one. But you know something? I knew when I decided to have this topic, you're going to have different points of people that are going to express whatever point of view, that they see fit. But I am not going to be timid. I'm going to cover whatever I deem necessary to discuss. If people do not like my content, well, you have an alternative. You can block
I think this
me.
person
You
is
can
just
go
trolling
to
you, Jose. I think he's trying to troll you.
I know. But you know what? Que sera, sera.
I guess you
Now,
always
what I've
have to
been
have
doing
one, right?
is Now, what I've been doing is I've been dropping the link to my other channel, which is called Golden Spear Folk. Okay. It's a channel that I have created so we can address issues as it pertains to biracial and multiracial people. Okay. Because they have issues like everybody else, and they need to have a safe space so they can address those issues.
I'm trying to figure out who is this guy because he's using Fighter's name, but we know it's not him. So I'm trying to figure out who's he.
I thought that name looked familiar.
Yeah. He's using Fighter's name, but like, okay, who the hell are you?
It may be what I call a duplicate troll account, maybe, or a variant. You know what I mean by that? Like there is a troll with my exact. I'm on my other device. I'm on another channel, but there's one with my exact avatar, exact name that has been in. I think does chats or is elsewhere.
Well, you are trolling. You say you don't have no problems, but you're obviously trolling because this title of the stream didn't say economics. It said gender war, which means that we're talking about relationships between men and women.
Uh-oh. So is he bringing up financial stuff?
Yeah, he said, why not do a stream on economics?
Okay, that's a different subject. And he can, if he knows so much about business, then he can do that on his channel.
Right. That's what I would suggest.
Well, like I said, look, I'm accountable to myself and I'm accountable to God when everything is said and done. I will dictate what will be covered on my platform or platforms.
Platforms, plural. Yeah. So you have another channel. I'll check that out. I'll check that out. Now, but going back to the thing about relationships, is gender wars. That's something that has been more and more of a thing in the last several years, or maybe in the last couple of decades. But I believe from what I'm seeing, I can only say from what I'm seeing is that it's more of a social media thing in the last number of years. I mean, because I'm not dealing with none of that outside of YouTube, outside of social media. I don't use much social media, maybe YouTube and a little Instagram, and that's pretty much it for me. But there haven't been a gender war. Okay, what is that really happening? But it's a okay. Who's offended? Who's offended? Maybe the only one.
No one's offended. No one's offended.
Yeah, no one's offended.
I'm trying to bring it back to the subject. I'm not trying to get derailed. So.
Oh boy. So Jose, do you? I thought you don't have too many trolls in your chats because your subscriber mode.
All of our trolls come to Jose's channel.
Mhm.
Oh,
But that's not one of mine, though.
Yeah, that's I don't. Yeah, I don't know who the guy is. So I'm just thinking.
Well, you know,
because the time that I've been here, I don't see
as
trolls.
as long as he's being respectable, as long as he's being
Yeah, but
well,
because
as long as he's being respectable, I don't have a problem.
Yeah, just keep that
troll. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. A respectable troll.
Look,
I wonder what that would be like.
No, they exist. They exist. There are trolls that kind of try to derail a conversation.
Yeah,
but
I know that.
I'm
sure.
I literally, before I came here, Al, this guy was trolling me and he was saying he was you. And he's like, Gigi, why haven't you been on my channel? And they were just like, stop, leave her alone. She don't know you're a troll, but you're a troll. And he was like, okay, I'll take it easy. And they were like, oh, we got respectable trolls in 2023. So it's funny that you said that because I just literally heard that. But somebody definitely is using your channel and going around and pretending that they're you.
That's what I'm saying. I have what I call a duplicate troll. And exact avatar, because I'm on another channel here. But I have one with exact avatar. And there's one with exact avatar, exact name. I know that's been in chats. I think I don't know if it's the same person or maybe different ones, but there was one that was around like, I don't know, it was like last year, the year before, I can't recall. Not last year, I think. Not last year, the year before.
I knew it wasn't you because I was like, I just went to your channel like 2 days ago, so I knew it definitely wasn't you.
Right, because I know recently there actually was a troll of my exact avatar and name on my channel. It came to my channel to troll. I'm not kidding. It came to my channel and I was like, you've got to be kidding me. And of course I sent him to the cell block. But yeah, oh geez. I mean, the whole trolling issue has just been an issue that I hate talking about this, but it's just an issue that I found out a guy in a certain space that actually this defrauding charlatan in the chats from, which is one of the reasons I don't like him here, but that is what it is. There was a guy from that space who admitted in a chat to trolling my channel. So I put out a community post noting, okay, this, because I didn't expect to actually find anybody who was a troll. I thought it would be hard to find. I didn't know how to do it, but I just got fortunate, I guess. Found one guy. And there's someone else that circumstantial evidence says may be involved too. So I've already noted them in my community post, my other channel.
They keep saying that they're trans. That's why I know they're trolling.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to see the platform you're on because I'm curious, but and it's okay if you don't, but.
Oh, no, I meant the one in Jose's chat right now. Keeps saying that he's trans and non-binary and I don't know what else, but I don't know what that has to do with the conversation.
Again, it has nothing to do with the subject. You see, that's one of those derailers. They're trying to derail the conversation into something else.
Precisely. Yeah. Precisely. That's what I thought too. Derailer. That's a good name for it.
Okay, y'all want to get back on topic?
Yes.
Yeah, that would work.
I would like to.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Yes, by all means.
No, I mean, yeah, but I mean, guys, I'm the one who wasn't born and raised in the United States, so I'm trying to get you to tell me what is the gender war, where is it located, like where did it started? I mean, what am I
It's
missing?
located on YouTube.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
social media too, probably Facebook, Twitter, probably
TikTok.
Instagram. Maybe. Yeah,
No,
I'm sure it's up
when it comes, yeah, when it comes to getting along with the opposite gender, and yes, I mean there are two genders. I mean, oof, oof. I know that that's not a very popular thing to say. Um, growing up in my daily life, it had nothing to do with social media because there was no such thing. Yes, I'm old, and I wouldn't change it for anything because it forced me to be kind of like more out there and actually being able to interact face to face. The most technology that will be involved will be meeting somebody and get somebody's phone number and then continue the conversation later on and trying to arrange for something to meet and to um and to hang out and getting to know each other. I mean, and having conversations over the phone, interesting ones, not just bullshitting. But but that's how I remember it. I mean, I thought it was great, and unfortunately, there are some of the younger generation that are trying to have whole relationships on social media, and that's not real. I mean, if you meet somebody on a profile and they're just a picture, some text, a profile, something like that, and you're interacting with that, that's not real. Real relationships is when people are actually around each other. I mean, so some of the younger guys,
Yeah.
the younger peoples, these younger generations need to do more of that. Actually going out there, actually meeting face to face. I know that it's a little more difficult these days. I know that we're living in a time where guys don't really want to do that because it's too easy to get accused of something that a guy didn't do. That's what I keep hearing. That there are young men, that are being that are having to live alone and they get lonely because they can't meet somebody because there are there are too many of these types of women that are too
well,
quick
again, like I said earlier,
over
here's what
something
you gotta
that didn't happen.
understand. Right. Here's what you gotta understand. Again, life is not fair. When I was growing up, we didn't have Facebook and Twitter and YouTube.
No,
It
me
was pretty
neither.
much
Me neither.
understood. You're a guy, if you're not handsome or good looking, or you don't have some kind of personality or money or a career or education or anything like that, you're gonna lose out when it comes to relationships and
I had to
love.
develop. I had to develop
And
a personality because I wasn't that good looking in comparison to Puerto Rico. For a Puerto Rican, I'm not so good looking, so I did have to develop a personality. I can assure you.
right, but what I'm saying is, I think
You look
because of
pretty
the
good looking to me.
technology, yeah, I've
Yeah,
seen worse. Trust me.
yeah. You
I've
look like
seen
you're
worse.
a good looking guy. You're okay. Like, yeah. But I get what you mean. You're saying like in Puerto Rico where everybody's just like amazingly good looking.
They're usually
Yeah.
more better looking than what I am. So the competition was stiff. So
Yeah.
I still
Yeah,
did
there
get
are some good looking people in Puerto Rico from what I've seen.
yeah. I mean, look at
What I was saying, yeah,
the universe pageants. I mean, it's common
right.
for the Puerto Rican contestant to get to like the last five or something like that. Like what just happened. I mean, no, beauty. That's a common saying. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but beauty, there is a scientific basis to what is considered beautiful. I mean, it has to do with facial symmetry, proportions between
Right.
one
The
side of the
golden
other.
ratio. The
There
golden
is science
ratio.
behind it. Mhm.
Right. But that's why I say with the technology, especially YouTube that's developed, now these the term would be, I guess, marginalized. I don't know, marginalized is the word. Rejected, alienated, angry guys can go and vent and share their frustrations and, I guess, pain or what have you on YouTube, and that creates, I mean, that creates other possible issues and problems. And I think there's not an acceptance of reality. I think,
Hey,
but it's
y'all,
easy for
this
me to
is.
say because I'm used to being a single guy.
I wanted to ask you guys, what do you guys think about? It's a different topic, but I mean, whatever. This Austin, what's his name, Holman guy that they done ran him up out of Brazil, the passport bro king. They done ran him up out of Brazil. Y'all heard about that? I know you have.
Okay, you know why was that? Because basically he was going around putting his camera on women's faces, talking about what will it take for me to take you home. I mean, basically treating women over there like they were easy. Again, this is that's not a problem because of him being the race that he is. That's not what it was about. It's about somebody who comes from the United States with American entitlement, talking about that they're gonna take over the women down there, and he ended up getting in trouble because of that.
Sex tourism. Yeah.
And putting the
I
camera
laughed at him.
on the woman's face, talking about that. What will it take for you to kiss me, and what would it take? How long will it take for me to take you home for the night?
But are these women sex workers? Because they were like, I mean, he wasn't making them present themselves as whores. They were giving answers like they were easy. Or was it because he was talking to sex workers?
Maybe not. I don't know. But
Yeah.
the thing is that he was putting the camera on their faces, asking them those questions, and maybe the women they weren't taking it too seriously, and they were giving him the kind of answer that he wanted to hear. And the thing is that they were not realizing that all of that was being broadcasted over all over YouTube for thousands or maybe hundreds of thousands of people to see, and that went around. And some dudes in Brazil, apparently he was getting death threats because of that. Because it's just not.
I trolled them. I went over there and I was like, ha ha ha, they done ran you up out of Brazil and we don't want you back.
No, but the thing is that they're trying to do kind of like what. Oh. Yeah, go on, Jose. I just wanted to finish that thought, but go on.
Yeah. Well, to be perfectly honest, I haven't been following that situation very much. First of all, look, between working on two platforms plus doing a huge amount of overtime. I mean, look, the first 3 weeks they're doing overtime. I did 112 hours of overtime. So it's like I don't have the time to go over and look and follow some guy that going over to Brazil just to hook up with women.
Mm-hmm.
I'm too busy.
Yeah, he was definitely being a weirdo over there, Irby. I'm glad they ran him out because, it is, you're going over there, you're making people look bad, and I feel like they're preying on, also people that may be poor. You know what I mean?
No,
it just gives predatory vibes.
Yeah, but the thing is that it's not a problem. This is something that I talked about on a live stream. You remember, Golden, that I did a live stream about that, because there are some of these guys that are going to these other places, to these other countries with a sense of entitlement, and they also talk shit about the men. I mean, not understanding that they could get pushback from them. Remember, these beautiful women that they're trying to get with, that they're thirsting for, they didn't sprung out of the ground. I mean, they didn't grow. I mean, they come from men, and there are going to be men that are going to have a problem with some outsider coming in and overly objectifying them. I mean, they're not. It's entitlement. It's kind of like the same thing with with someone. There are kind of like the white guys, the European guys that do that in the poorer parts of Asia, where they go on and they get together with some poor Asian woman. I mean, the people know about that, but they keep it a little bit more quiet so they don't get ran out of there too. I mean, but it's something that's been happening. There are guys that are kind of weirdos, and they go to places like the poorer parts of Asia, certain places in the African continent. They do the same thing. And there are also some of the passport bros talking about that they're going to the Philippines. I come across many videos about that. They're going to be going to the Philippines or Thailand. Okay, go on ahead. Make sure that you don't get together with a ladyboy, because that's a real thing. That's something that.
Yeah, and underage girls. I'm against all that shit.
Yeah. What's up, y'all? Can I say something?
Hey, Irby.
Excuse me. I just want to be
Yeah, Jose.
No, I just want to walk in Irby. Irby, what do you think about the topic?
Oh, that's what I came up to answer. I wanted to answer Gigi's question about what's his name, the passport bureau.
Go ahead, Irby.
He was acting weird. He was being weird. I saw the video. He was being weird. It wasn't sex tourist. He was acting. He was going around like the random tourist spots, the beaches, where women just sit there and just chill. And he just going around asking random women, these weird questions. So I think the authorities caught up to that, and that's why he ran out of that. I think so.
No, because if he was just trying to talk to some women, meet some women, but kind of like he could have kept it a little bit more quiet and nobody would have said anything. But no, he was going around.
But I think the problem is that he was also presenting them as easy.
Yeah, he is.
No, that's what I'm saying. We're putting the camera in their faces. I mean, broadcasting it to everybody. It was kind of like making them look bad. If he would have just gone around and goes around the beach, sees the environment, there are women, talk to a woman here and there, whatever, nobody cares. But going around with the camera, that's something that I used to hear about certain guys that will do the same thing in the Dominican Republic. I mean, that will go around certain places, they kind of like the more type of red light districts, and they will go around with the camera and filming and broadcasting, and eventually they will end up having to leave the place because they were going to get in trouble, because they're like, dude, I mean, go around, don't be broadcasting the shit.
That's his whole shtick. He's trying to telling people that they're easy. These Brazilian women are easy.
Mm-hmm.
All these women in Latin America are easy. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, that's why he got ran up out of there.
I mean, they will be easy in the red light districts, and those are easy for a price.
Yeah, it has to do with American money,
Yeah.
Guys, guess who else is doing a stream tonight? Someone that talks about the same topic again and again and again and again.
Who? Are you going to say Chem 123? Because I saw he's doing a stream about them running Austin out of there.
Maybe it's your dude, the so-called black skin is amazing. Maybe he's talking about Puerto Ricans again.
Why is black skin going in on Puerto Ricans when they're Americans? I didn't get that. I'm like, why are you going in on Puerto Ricans? Like, I mean, not that he should be going on anybody because they're not Americans, but I just thought that's weird.
Well, CSIA is not the sharpest tool in the drawer. He's not the brightest bulb in the lamp.
You got this whole thing about them not co-founding hip hop.
Okay, there was that initial thing about Puerto Ricans not having never been a part of hip hop. That's one thing. Okay, fine. He could have done one live stream about that, but he's been doing live stream after live stream after live stream. Yesterday, he did a live stream that was like 8-9 hours. Talking shit about us, like, dude.
I don't understand how somebody can do 9-hour live streams. Not even 4 hours, let alone 9 hours. Have you ever done that?
I know he's your boy, but you can check out his channel. I don't know if that stream is still up, but he was yesterday broadcasting, talking shit about us Puerto Ricans for like what 8 hours at least. When I caught it, he'd already been live for like 8 hours or something like that.
Damn.
I mean, we're very important to him. We Puerto Ricans are very, very important to him. I mean, I don't give a shit about him, but what's the obsession?
He's getting a lot of views from the
Ramon.
Puerto Rican topic.
Okay. So because of us,
It's
getting
a-
a little money. Mhm.
Ramon, it's us that we are living rent free in his twisted mind.
Yeah. Apparently he's a house husband because that's what he does every day. He doesn't work or whatever. That would be my
The
guess.
shade, honey.
Yeah, because that's what he does every day. Lately, talking shit about us, and we don't do anything to him. And the whole thing about Puerto Ricans not being a part of a part of hip hop, that whole thing. Look, he's not a New Yorker because just about every New Yorker that I talked about, they agree that the Puerto Ricans were there right at the beginning in the 70s. And I have heard hip hop pioneers. I'll take their word over what these FBAs are saying because those are FBAs. Man, Tariq Nasheed got the FBAs hating hard on us, but it's safe because there is no consequence. That's what that shit is.
Yeah.
Don's in the back chat.
I just want to welcome Don Armando that in the chat. Good evening, sir. You know, we are definitely living rent free in his mind, and then there's certain other individuals that I know that I'm living rent free in their minds as well. But I'm not going to mention their names here because I'm trying to keep it positive.
They don't deserve that shine. Don't mention their names. I mean, it's whatever.
Look, let me tell you something. I'm so happy that now on this platform I have over 200 subs.
Yeah. Yes. Very good.
Congratulations, Jose.
And I didn't have, thank you. And I didn't have to do any reaction videos. I didn't have to attack anybody. It's purely on content.
I'm gonna have to do like a reaction, something harmless to see if I can get my subscription count up. I'm not very good at kind of like doing this whole shade thing because I don't beef with anybody. I don't beef with people.
You know what? No, I know.
I
I
haven't
know.
get
I have a
notifications.
reputation.
I just said I haven't been getting any notifications from you, Boricua.
I'm gonna be doing something soon. It's just that I have been dealing with these bronchial symptoms, and I can't be talking for too long. But definitely. I mean, feel free to join in when I'm live next. It's gonna be soon. I'm gonna be doing something soon. Yeah.
Hi, Don.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are
Good
you?
evening.
Good evening.
Still done.
So,
Hey,
Kirby. Yeah, I'm like, you know what? You know, most of my images is trolling or whatever the case may be, but at least it could actually have a good laugh or something like that.
Well, I know I have a reputation of being like the Fred Rogers here in these YouTube streets, but when necessary, I can do a good job roasting some people.
I mean, me personally, right? I mean, I guess that I'm living rent free on certain people's minds, but I guess that I got like 226 from my 223 subs. So it's funny on how I just want like maybe 6 more subscribers just because I guess me living rent free into somebody's heads.
Yeah.
Whose head? I'm just curious.
Well, apparently, I guess it was not last week. It was like 2 weeks ago that somebody, I don't even know who it is because I blocked them because they're not of importance. But apparently they were mad because I had a certain somebody that they did not agree with on the show or whatever. So with that said, they decided to make a whole post about, well, mentioning me and stuff. I was like, I'm here. I just listened to it. I was like, okay, this is crap. And that was it. Now, before that, another guy I went up and I just posted something on my community tab. And apparently, I guess some guy who calls himself AC or whatever the case may be, went up and was like,
that's my stalker.
well, anyway, that dude was like, you don't go around and make how should I say, what is it when clickbait or something like that? Okay, so apparently I don't know who you are, right? So why the heck you writing on my community tab, right? Talking about don't clickbait his name when the fact is I don't even know who you are. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, I was hearing they were trying to say you were somebody else that you weren't. I forgot who it was though, and I'm like, that's Don. That's not. But I forget who it was. They were trying to say you were. Oh, they were trying to say you were Duke. This guy named Duke.
Oh,
I'm like, that's not Duke.
I'm like me personally. It's funny, right? I went up and I talked to one of the guy, right, and I just heard of who I was, right. The next thing you know, they call me Duke. I'm like, please, I don't know who is Duke. I don't know whosoever it is, right? Because apparently, I'm actually new to the biracial streams or whatever.
Yeah.
And the guy that actually went on his stream about it, they're talking about Arnold and stuff. I went up and I talked to that person. I had nobody to go around and I had no reason to go and disrespect somebody. But apparently they was going in saying like, oh, I guess because of my friendship with Zacharias or whatsoever, they want to try to put me in the bunch. I'm like, okay, so I've been hearing for some time that certain people like to dox people or whatever. So when I heard that from a confidential source, I went up and I blocked all the channels, because at the end of the day, I'm not here to debate on something which is very stupid. And if a person has a personal misgiving about whoever I have in my show, at the end of the day, they came to my show. Me and that person have a respectful rapport. But I guess if a person wants to talk their opinions, I'm like, I'm not gonna, and they want to use foul language to express their opinions, I don't have any time for it. So they could talk about how I blocked them and whatsoever, but at the end of the day, they're not gonna really do anything. So that's how I see it.
Yeah, I would just leave that person alone and block, because that person can get kind of crazy. He will dox you.
I mean, he could dox me, but I could dox him. So you don't want that smoke.
Well, as far as Zacharias is concerned, I mean, right now I have no issues with him, but I'm not going to allow him on my platform, based on the fact that that.
Yeah, I know.
First of all, when he goes on the platform, when he goes on other people's platforms, he tried to derail the conversation, focus everything on him.
Right.
Oh,
and then
yes.
he made an accuracy. And then when I asked him to produce the receipts, all he can say was go to his podcast.
That guy
Now, if
has
you're
a
going to make an
podcast.
accusation,
He has
Yes.
a podcast?
So
Yeah, he has a podcast.
if you're going to make
Oh
an
my
accusation
God.
towards me, produce your receipts or recant. If you do either, you're going to be permanently banned from my platform. It is that simple.
I'm trying to figure out who would
But-
listen to that guy on a podcast. I'm trying to figure that out because I couldn't even listen to him when he was on panels. I was on a couple panels when he was up, and it was like I couldn't understand at times a word that guy was saying. Like I understood the words he was saying, but I couldn't understand like where is this going? What is this about? Who are you? What planet are you from? I don't get that guy, honestly. Like it's funny. I don't like or dislike him. I just think he's strange. It's like,
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know. My understanding, because I know what's his name is. I know. I'll just say BP has talked about him, and
BP
I
is
honestly,
AC, in case you don't know. Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
You know what? I
Well-
have seen his streams, and like I said before, right now I don't have a beef with Zacharias, but when everything is said and done, I'm trying to run a respectable program, and I'm trying to create a space where everyone can express their point of view. I'm not going to allow anyone to try to take over and run it and then just talk nonstop for 10 hours.
I did feel bad for Zacharias. I felt a little bad for him because everybody was attacking him. But at the end of the day, to be honest, when they attack me, he shows up and twerks over there. So I just kind of minded my business and just stood out of it,
No, but that's kind of like what moderating is about. Because there are people that love to hear themselves talk. I'm not accusing him of that, but there are people that love to hear themselves talk, and they are very long-winded, and then they go all over the place. So it's a matter of kind of like telling them, hey, I mean, I get what you're saying, but if you can sum it up, if you can move it along, there are other people on the panel that want to be able to get their word in. That's moderating. I mean,
Yeah.
if you let them, they'll talk your ear off, and other people are sitting,
Right.
sitting on.
And it's funny
No.
because,
I don't know, but it
as
seems
you,
to
as you
be
know, I mean,
kind of difficult with some of the characters you see on YouTube. Go ahead.
Yeah.
it's like, okay, talking about that, right? I've been seeing like a topic that's been, I guess, quote unquote hot, like on a lot of YouTubers' minds. So, what you think about the Passport Brothers?
We
And
were just talking about one of them.
Yeah, we were just talking about them.
yeah, because the thing is, though, it was funny because I've been seeing like on YouTube and I guess in other articles that one of them, I guess, that it was in Brazilian or whatever.
We were just talking about him.
Yeah, because they were
Yeah.
saying that they're bringing sex tourism. I'm like, okay, so my thing is this: if the Passport Brothers, right? They're bringing in, they're promoting sex tourism in Brazil, whatever, right? Like, what are they really doing? When the fact is like other nations, I'm talking about, Europeans, et cetera, that, they've been doing this for like, I'll say like the early 90s. Think about it.
Well, I think it's because they're putting it all over YouTube and social media. I think that's the problem,
No, but because because that kind of tourism has been happening since like what, after World War II? It's been happening since all the way back then. It was kind of like the white guys that will be doing that, but they usually will keep it quiet. They'll just go do whatever, come back to the States, having had their fun and whatever, and they keep it quiet. They keep it more to themselves. What's happening with some of the Passport Bros is that they go to these other places in the world and they go around with the phone, with the camera, showing the camera in all of these women's faces, and they ask all of these somewhat inappropriate questions, and it's not a good look. It's not a
Yeah,
good
like
look.
like I know one guy, right, that y'all might or might not be familiar with. So there's a guy that I talked to, and he actually, and I don't know what this term is, still don't know, but this guy, I guess, he is a biracial man. He actually talks about Thailand, I guess his time in other Hispanic nations and stuff, because he's actually a known how should I say, YouTuber. So my thing is that if y'all ever heard of this term called mongering, that term is actually new to me. So is anybody familiar with that term?
Mongering?
I'm
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, like fear mongering.
Yeah,
No,
it's kind of like promote doing propaganda type of thing. Is that what you mean? I will have to
No,
look it up.
because like on this man's channel, right?
Mhm.
He always talks about mongering, right? And
Okay. If I can read this really quick, I'll just look it up. Cambridge English Dictionary. Mongering, the act of encouraging a particular activity, especially one that causes trouble.
all right, but then I thought
Okay, perfect definition.
right. But
Yeah.
then the thing is, though, they actually have it's like a slang word, I guess, for when a guy gets woman or something like that. I don't know, because it's actually I've been seeing a lot of people actually talk about mongering when they actually
No, there
about
might be misusing the word because I
Yeah.
got a definition here. Yeah, there are people that use words and they don't know what it means. They use the words incorrectly. I mean, yeah.
Well, I mean, it does apply, right? If you're encouraging sex, travel. So
Yeah.
does it not apply or no?
I mean, the thing is this, right? Sex travel, right? And me and my friend, we were just actually talking about this because apparently, within the Dominican culture, right? There's certain stuff that is actually looked down upon, and one of the things which is actually looked down upon is a man paying a woman to have how should I say, adult fun. So
Doing the horizontal hula.
Okay,
Right.
to get it on, basically.
Yeah. Or in layman's terms,
No, you don't have to dress it up.
I'm just joking.
Get it in, get it on. We get it.
Get it in and on too. They can do both.
Yeah, love shacks. But other than that, so this guy and another YouTuber, they were actually arguing because the guy was like, how the heck you doing that, and what the heck you teaching to your kids or whatever, right? Because this guy who was a traveler actually has a son. So they were angry, and there was words said or whatsoever the case may be. But then, from what I heard, this particular YouTuber started mentioning it again. So I was talking, and it was like, okay, if this guy ever mentions my son again or whatever, I want to go to his gym. So therefore, we could actually box it out, because nobody's going to go and mention my son or my parenting skills, because that's uncalled for.
Right.
Yeah. So with that said, it's like I see a lot of people when it comes to if it was to actually be a debate, a person cannot really actually debate without just throwing the personal insults. So with that said, I believe that some of these people are weak, And if they want to try to say that they're alpha male or whatever, you're not proving a point. At the end of the day, if a person has to resort to name calling and personal attacks, but yet you're not actually focusing on the subject, why is it you're debating when the fact is you're just starting a fight or something that you can't handle in the long run?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that might be more fitting of the definition of mongering. I mean, is it trying to start shit. I mean, that's not a real debate. Somebody who has to call people names, they're just trying to start shit. I mean, that may be what mongering. That will fit in more with the definition of what mongering is about: trying to start trouble, trying to start shit, instigating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but that's basically what it was.
Excuse me, it's okay, but I'm glad you was able to stop by and share your commentary. Really appreciate it.
Oh, all right, Golden. I mean, if you have a chance, I'm sure you can come back. The link is gonna be there. Yeah, but like we were saying,
Yeah, just
I mean,
yeah. Yeah, the link is there. Go ahead.
Yeah.
little one is this kind of thing. Oh, no. Yeah, she had to take care of it. Stink. Okay. Do your thing.
Yep. All right. So y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
All right.
Okay.
So, all right. Another topic that we're going to talk about. All right. So, in your own respective places, what y'all think about the rising food prices?
Yeah, it's affecting everybody. A lot of people are complaining about what's happening with the eggs, particularly. I mean, about other items that you get at the store, it's not too bad yet. But I already don't really eat red meat. I mean, so something that has to do with chicken, something like that, that's gonna affect me. When it comes to eggs, that's gonna affect me. But yeah, certain items, a lot of items at the stores are rising, so you are kind of having to make do with with what you can get. It's unfortunate. Hopefully, it's something that gets resolved. When it comes to that, many of those prices go up. It's going to be difficult for it to go back down. It's directly to do with oil availability because everything takes oil. I mean, it's directly.
That's what I was telling my friends. At first, they were laughing. I'm like, how? That's why I told them. I was like, first of all, don't you know that all the stuff is going to go up just because of the scarcity of oil? And there was like, haha. I was like, and then people just look, and then somebody just looked at me and like, yeah, you're right, exactly.
No, because they don't get it. They don't get the link of it because everything that a lot of what is manufactured, a lot of the plastics, we use a lot of plastics that comes from oil. And when it comes to transporting all of the goods everywhere in the world, all of that takes oil. I mean, to get the fuel out of the oil so it can be transported. They don't understand that if there is a scarcity in oil availability, everything is going to cost more. Everything.
Right.
So
Well,
yeah,
I guess you could.
talking about
But you know something?
Up, I think.
My bad. I didn't hear
But
you
you
all.
know something? But changing. Okay.
Well, I just said the prices for oil were gone up, at least in the countries like OPEC countries and Saudi Arabia, for example, had done very well during at least last year in regards to oil. You know, the prices per barrel had gone up. You know,
Yeah.
you know, tremendously. And you know, at one point, Saudi Aramco was valued as, you know, in terms of market capitalization, as the most valuable company at one point.
Yeah, I remember seeing an advertisement that there were about Aramco, that they were doing other things, other engineering projects that had to do with kind of like an alternative sources of energy. I don't know if there was any legitimacy to that advertisement, but there were kind of like divisions in Aramco that had to do with kind of like engineering, other engineering divisions that had to do with alternate ways, alternate solutions to things like that. I don't know. I don't know if that was legit, but it was. I have first heard about Aramco in a movie from a number of years ago. But yeah, I know that they're around, and I'm sure that they're doing very well. They're, and the princess. When I say princess, I'm talking about the multiple guys that are a prince in Saudi Arabia. They're getting richer and richer.
I mean, they have no point too, but think about it. And the Saudi royal family, right? They have like 1,000 princes because, let's just face it, these guys have like 500 wives or whatever the case may be. I'm not saying they actually do, but you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
And since it's a male-dominated culture, right? And I mean, in Saudi Arabia, if you actually look at it, right, the way that of succession to the royal Saudi throne and whatever, you know, originally, traditionally, okay, if you're the son, you inherit your father's title. It doesn't go like that. It goes to, if the king dies, he has a brother, and then the brother has a brother, and then the brother has a brother. So therefore, with all the princes that they have and everything like that, if they were to have like succession lines and stuff like that, the way that it is that anybody who's actually a part of the royal family, you're born into princehood and stuff, because you know most of the Saudi princes, they actually get educated in England and so forth. That Saudi line, they have to make sure that they keep all the princes rich, because if they don't, there's always going to be a family descent or something. So I could actually, and I know that one of the princes, like around 1975 or so, went up and assassinated the king of Saudi Arabia. So you know, it's like you have to make sure that the princess is happy.
Yeah, I'm not too versed on the history. The House of Saud. My understanding is that was established by the British, but I don't know the details originally.
Right.
So we'll look into it.
Well,
Gigi, thank you very much for stopping.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I just wanted to note to Gigi, I had done a live earlier, and I know you were at Stargates, so I just wanted to kind of warn you about that sector over there, that it's anti-biracial, very anti-biracial, very, I don't know, they got issues with biracial people, mixed race people over there. So just wanted to warn you about that, just let you know about that. So be careful about that.
Okay. Wow. Well, you know what? I think this stream has been been a reasonably good stream. I mean, we were able to discuss, in depth regarding these issues. Of course, we talk about other things. One thing I do miss is that this winter has not been very cold at all.
Yeah, it really hasn't. I haven't really seen snowfall out here in Philadelphia.
Well, here the temperature is actually pretty good. I mean, it's been like it is a bit abrupt that it could go from the 70s all the way down to the 40s and back. So it goes back and forth like that. But it hasn't gotten too cold, thankfully.
Right.
Well, 40s. I mean, that's basically spring-like.
No,
I mean,
really.
for us.
If I need a jacket, it's not spring-like.
Right.
Don't start. Let's not start
Well,
with the whole word thing. No, I'll let it be warm. I like it. That's how I like it.
Well, I got a confession to make. When I was working overtime last night, they didn't turn on the heat, and I had to put on my coat. So if I have to put on my coat, then it was very cold.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sure.
Well, I'm about to step down. Don Jose, it was nice talking to you and Al and
Well, thank you
Ramon.
very much for stopping by.
Anytime.
All right,
Okay,
take care.
take care. Yeah. So, Ramon,
Yes.
when you gonna be doing another stream?
I was gonna do one tonight, but you beat me to it again. Holly, you keep beating me to the punch. I thought about it, but also I'm still recovering from this cough. I mean, sometimes you don't hear me all of a sudden because I have to mute. I have to mute so I can cough. But I'm having these bronchial symptoms, and I'm not 100% yet. As soon as I do that, I want to be able to do a live stream about self-protection because there have been recent developments that are very worrisome. I mean, when it comes to things that have to do with the Second Amendment, and hopefully I can get Rakim to join me. So I want to do that, but I want to get back to feeling better. I mean, I have been dealing with this bad cough, and it has to do with the abrupt changes in the weather that get me like that because I'm not used to breathing cold air. I'll never get used. By now, I'm never gonna get used. I'm too old for that. I mean, I know that's your thing, Jose,
No.
but I want to feel better so I can do that. Yeah. But I want to do that soon. I want to do one soon because I do have something to say. So I'll get to it. I'll get to it soon. You will know.
Well, I'm not planning to do another stream until Thursday, so that'll give you an opportunity to do one of your streams.
Okay. I'll see. I'll see how I feel in the next couple of days. So I'll make sure to send notifications out when I get on it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So actually, when it comes to my new channel, I just had like 1 or 2 videos. So I'm gonna be doing my first stream on my new platform this Saturday at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, which is 5 o'clock your time.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. And the whole point is to have a separate platform to deal with biracial, multiracial issue. I can just easily continue to do on my platform, but the original goal of my stream, my platform, is to talk about everyday issues. So that's what. So by creating a separate channel, I can deal with those issues, and then on my main platform, with everyday issues.
It makes sense.
Actually,
different topics.
Irby, the link is in the chat. Herbie, the link is in the chat for the minus. It's just about the link to join the link to join the panel. It's there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to take closing remarks because, believe it or not, I'm going to be doing overtime again tonight. I'll be going to be working from midnight to 8 a.m. and then I'm going to go to my regular job.
Well,
So,
I think my new nickname for you is the King of Time. King of Golden Time.
Well, at least I don't sound like a particular individual, which will remain nameless because I'm trying to keep it classy. But the fact of the matter is, this year I have two goals: to avoid stress as much as possible and be the best version of myself. So, Al, what are your closing remarks?
I would say it was a good discussion. I think what was good is that it wasn't simply about. It wasn't kind of limited. It wasn't just, this. He said, she said. I think it kind of went a little beyond the usual parameters of something like this. And it was, not heated, so it didn't get heated, and nobody seemed to get upset or anything like that. In that respect, it was a good discussion, I would say. I liked it. And with that, I bid you adieu and looking forward to the new channel.
Okay. Okay. Good night, Al. Okay. Ramon, your final thoughts.
Oh, hey, Don Jose, I know that I came in a little late, so I tried to do the best that I could about it. Hey, Hakeem, what's going on?
Shout out to my boy Ramon. Shout out to my YouTube dad, Jose Negron. How you guys doing?
Doing okay.
Good evening,
okay. I
Hakeem.
mean, Jose was about to close up, but it would have been nice if you got it earlier. Hey.
Yeah. I was actually getting ready for work and everything. I know Jose had sent me the message, but I didn't pay attention to the time.
Okay. No, it was about the whole gender war thing. I mean, the main topic, right, Jose?
Yes.
Oh, well.
So basically, the question is, yeah.
Is it really a thing? Well, maybe Rakim does have a perspective on that he can elaborate on, and maybe you can close it up with that. I'm gonna be listening, but I'm gonna be stepping out. So I appreciate Jose for letting me be on your panel. I know that I came in a little later, so I wanted to make the best out of it when I had the chance. But definitely, I mean, now that Rakim is here, I'm sure that he can give you plenty of perspective on that. So Rakim, take it away. Appreciate you letting me on your panel. I'm gonna be listening and I'm gonna be commenting. So I appreciate it, Jose. Shout out to Rakim.
Shout out to my boy Ramon.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ramon, for stopping by, and be safe out there.
All right. Thanks for having me. Have a good one, guys.
You too. Joaquin, basically what I did in the beginning, I shared an article regarding the gender war, and it boils down when you have certain perspectives. You have the men's groups, and then you have the feminist groups, and sometimes you have the radical feminist groups. And so both the males and the females, they express legitimate concerns. Now the article that state that, to have a resolution is that we don't personalize the conflict. We try to listen and we try to be empathetic with their points of view. So I know, unfortunately, you're just getting the back end. So I would suggest when you have time that you watch the stream from the playback so you can get the full perspective. But I want to give you an opportunity to express some point, your point of view regarding, do we have a gender war out there, and what are your thoughts?
Oh, well, my thoughts is absolutely we definitely have a gender war. Dating is getting tougher and tougher as the generations carry on, and it's because that the powers to be intended it to be this way. It really started off in my community and it's been prevalent in my community for a very long time. But now it's starting to spill off into other communities because of the fact that a lot of people that are in business, that are in bed with corporations and everything like that, have promoted and marketed images of, showing women in a more independent light or putting their money behind feminism and funding it to the point that a lot of women's expectations and standards are very high and high beyond reality. So a lot of men cannot meet these standards, and therefore it has created a very bad divide within a lot of communities. It started here in the United States. It started it hit my community very heavily, but now it's making its way over into the Caribbean, Jamaica, Puerto Rico, and even with other groups here in the United States. So yeah, it's definitely a gender war, and I'm gonna be a little bit biased because I'm a man, and from what I've seen, definitely growing up, it's just the lack of disrespect, the talking down to, and it's almost within my community, the women are competing against the men, and it's been that way to quite some time. It's about power and control, and pretty much wanting to be catered to, and at the same time. So that's pretty much what we're dealing with, and now it has become a monstrosity, and it's spilled over into other communities, and a lot of other people really don't know how to deal with it either. And in my personal opinion, when you look at the feminist movement, I mean, I can understand the first generation of wanting to be paid equally
Mhm.
or different things like that. But the way things have, it's gotten to a point now where the women want to be superior to the men, and they look at men as inferior. And if we go over to the Middle East, it'll be a different story. And so it's obvious that this is a cultural thing because what's going on here in the United States, if you was to put these women into the Middle East and everything like that, they would have extreme anxiety to the point that they'll have a panic attack because it's it's something quite different. Even in South America, it's something quite different. So, but it's all been for profit. It's all been for money to create a divide between men and women to be able to have more single women in the future, because single women that are miserable try to fill that void by purchasing things within the and boosting up the economy. I don't have a man or a man to my status or a man to my caliber, that 6 foot 6 feet. I mean that's 6 feet 6 pack, 6 figure income. That wears a suit. Pretty much. Sarah Jessica. I don't have my Mr. Big to my Sarah Jessica Parker. So I'm going to fill that void by buying myself a pair of Louis Vuitton red bottoms or buying myself a pair of Gucci shoes or a Fendi bag and, you know, um, different things like that or a mink fur or, whatever else that, people on the lower economic uh, system can purchase for themselves as well. So they pretty much succeeded with that. A lot of people watch a lot of television, watch a lot of internet, in a lot of cases, internet has become the new media, in which I tell people all the time, both men and women, the internet and television is not your friend. is made to market certain things towards you and pretty much put ideas in your head, the wrong ideas a lot of the times, to be able to have you influenced to make the wrong decision that can possibly have consequences for your future. So
Yeah. It's you are bringing some interesting points of view when it comes to uh, this issue, and I think if we ever going to resolve these issues, uh, the fact of the matter is we're gonna have to have some mutual understanding and some mutual respect amongst ourselves, okay? And try to develop empathy regarding our respective issues. Because as long as we remain militant and what have you, there's never going to be a resolution to all these issues. Your thoughts?
in a perfect world, that would be the case, but unfortunately, when power is involved and you have certain groups of the opposite sex that feel like they have the power, where you're talking about the court systems, you're talking about, um, you know, I can swing everything in my direction in divorce. I can swing my everything in my direction with child custody. We have the talk shows on our side. We have the media on our side. If I call for a domestic violence dispute, even if that man hasn't done anything, more than likely he's going to get hauled off to prison or hauled off to jail, because the fact that um, the police are going to take my side in that situation. So in a perfect world you would think so, but it's like asking a bully to respect you. It doesn't go that way, especially if the bully has the
Okay.
power. You have to pretty much going to be in a position where you have to fight, and you're going to have to take power back in order to be able to get respect and meet on a mutual ground. So you see a lot of guys now, they've been talking about the passport movement, even though there's been a lot of men that's been getting their passports for a long time. But as you can see by the response to those guys, some women are scared, and it's obvious by the way that they keep talking about it and running their mouth about it, that they are in fear that they're going to have even less options. And the crazy thing is just people are people, and some people are too far gone to even change back, because a lot of people have been able to make a name off of feminism, especially women. They feminism have made them somebody important, so they'll never drop that concept. They will fight that to the end, and that's with a lot of people. When it's a situation or a movement that has been created, people that were once nobodies have thrived in that movement, and they will never let that movement go, because that movement has cultivated their identity and made them who they are. So we got a long fight ahead of us. Some women have been so brainwashed by feminism that they don't know how to go back. So it's been decades and decades upon decades of this. So this is where we are now.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Rakeem, for your input. Unfortunately, I do have to wrap it up because I do have to get ready to go to work. I've been doing a lot of overtime, so I'm going to be working from midnight to 8 a.m. So I really gotta, I gotta wrap this up. But thank you very much, and I do hope at some point that you will produce content on your platform, so all of us can partake on it.
Yeah, I'm
Do you have the
definitely going to
final
have
brief
to.
remarks?
No, thank you for allowing me up, to, speak my piece for the last few minutes, the remainder of the show. Once again, thank you, Jose. And that's pretty much all I got to say. So everyone have a good night. And,
Okay. Well, thank you. Well, thank you. Good night, Joaquin, and please be safe out there.
all right, you too.
Okay. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you my final remarks. It was a good string. It was very productive. We was able to discuss many issues in a calm and mature environment, which is always a good thing. And the fact of the matter is, I am more optimistic. I think we can have a resolution to all these issues, but we have to be willing to just be understanding, empathetic, and learn what are the issues our respective groups have. I appreciate all the people that appear on the chat. I appreciate all the people that appear on the panel. My next stream will be on Thursday at 8 o'clock, and it will be regarding is there's an issue regarding the pay gap regarding the sexes. So this week, I'm just going to be speaking about simple issues. If they're not done so, please on platforms. The link to the new platform is in the chat, and all are welcome to enter a comment after the stream is over. So please keep it respectful. With that being said, I'm going to wish everyone a good night, and please be safe out there, because with all these sicknesses and whatnot, it's best to be careful. So with that being said, let's just be good to each other, and let's be the best version of ourselves. This has been another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. Wishing all of you a good night. Take care and peace.